Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Download our African Diaspora News Channel app now on Google Play and Apple App Store. Stay informed with authentic and diverse perspectives, breaking news, and cultural insights. Immerse yourself in a community that celebrates unity, resilience, and progress. Experience the vibrancy of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
So I came across this video on TikTok. It's by Roy Thompson. He goes by, his TikTok handle is Squirrel. And he had his children at a event that took place. It was a private event at the Flying Squirrel. It's one of those kind of like a Chuck E. Cheese meets a place where you can do a lot of fun activities, but their main feature being a glow-in-the-dark event, right? Where the lights go out and you know, you kind of have this neon thing going on with your clothing and what have you. And something went terribly wrong there. And at the end of the day, police were called on the children. But before I play the interview that I had with him where he shared his story, let me just play the actual TikTok video that he posted asking that we boycott this establishment. Take a look.
This is a 60-second boycott for any black person living in Whitby, Pickering, Oshawa. I don't care, even in Toronto. The Whitby Flying Squirrel just called police on kids.
On a group of youth, black youth.
On Family Day, right? Family Day, for about 250 kids were supposed to be there. And regardless, they ordered 15 pizzas for the kids. They started to feed the kids them at 10:53 and then at 11 o'clock, after they send the kids upstairs, kicked them back downstairs and then wanted them to leave so bad at 11 o'clock that they called the police.
6 police cruisers.
6 police cruisers. But watch this. It was supposed to be a glow-in-the-dark night. And they said to the kids and the managers and the organizers saying that they don't feel safe turning off the lights because they felt unsafe because what? There's all black kids there. Boycott that. Boycott that.
We're not going there no more. No more.
Hey everyone. So I am here with Roid and he goes by, I'm going to try to do this. Bow.
Okay. Yes. I like that.
Thank you so much for agreeing to meet with me. I saw your story on TikTok and I said, you know what? I got to talk to him. I got to get this story. You know, as we know, in Ontario, there's a lot of racial discrimination. There's a lot of anti-Black racism. And a lot of people, you know, around the world, in the United States, don't think it happens. They think that Canada is just, everybody's so nice and kind and we all hold hands and sing Kumbaya and you know, everybody loves everybody. And we're here to say that is not the case. So talking about your story, I came across it on TikTok, like I said, and you were talking about boycotting the Flying Squirrel, which is an event space that mostly caters to younger people, if I'm right. And there was a private event going on, and tell us what happened.
The private event was glow in the dark event that was put on by Melanin Takeover. I personally didn't even know about anything that was going on with it weeks prior. My daughters then came, they said they wanted to go to an event with friends and it was a glow in the dark. Everything was supposed to be paid for, pizza and food. So I said, okay. They end up going there around 9 o'clock when the event was supposed to be starting. I end up going there at 10:30 to pick them up half an hour before just to see how it was going. When I arrived there, I seen young kids showing up, going upstairs. So I'm like, okay, things are going on, but the lights were still on. The older kids were sitting down in corners, not jumping, anything like that. So my daughter came and she's like, Daddy, they didn't turn off the lights and we haven't eaten yet. As soon as she said that, they called them upstairs to go and eat. I arrived at 10 o'clock. It's about 10:53 when they're talking to me, letting me know what's going on. So I'm like, okay, all right. Since we're finished at 11 o'clock, they're just about to go eat. So I end up walking upstairs to see that there's no food being served. The kids them were all in the back trying to figure out what's going on. I asked the kitchen staff, hey, what's going on with the food? He said that the kitchen said for them to stop making food. I go, how? How much food did you guys serve? They said, well, they had this much, 15 boxes of pizza in the beginning, but we're out of food right now. Then, so my daughter came to me, she goes, they haven't got any juice, no pop, like nothing that they paid for or came for. So when I went
let's
back
set
down,
the stage for the event space. So you said it's a glow in the dark, but first of all, what time did the actual event start, and what time was it supposed to end?
my understanding was 9 to 11 or 8 to 11, around there.
Okay, so
Mhm.
sorry, and so the event space itself is for children, and there's a glow in the dark event, and it was a private event just for the kids that were invited to this event, and it started at 8, or you said, was it 8 or 9 o'clock?
Around 9, yeah.
9, and it was supposed to go to 11. Did they get fed at all?
The younger kids, what I was told is, like I said, when I got there, I seen them call like age group, let's say 8 to 11, 8 to 12. That's how they were doing it, calling the age group to come upstairs. So when I got there, they had basically at 10:30 when I got there, they had basically called another group, because after I reached there, after 10:30, my daughter's group was going up there. And that's when they called their group around 10:53. But the event was finished at 11 o'clock.
So they never got any food,
Nah.
the group with your children?
Around 50 kids, because when they came downstairs, one of the organizers, the organizer asked who never ate, who never got fed, and about 50 kids put up their hand. So she had to stay there, and this is at 11 o'clock now, and this is after they already said, hey, you guys gotta go. She's out there taking names of all the kids that didn't eat.
Were all the children Black?
The majority.
Okay.
The majority.
And the ones that never got, fed, were they all Black?
Yeah, my daughters are 2 Black girls. The other kids, was a mainly Black event.
Okay. So now you arrive and your daughter tells you this. You're now trying to understand what happened. What happened when you tried to get some answers?
We tried to call her to say, excuse me, can we talk to you for a minute? If we were to see the camera from 10 to 10:30, you would see me standing at the desk with my wife, calling this lady, and she walked past us like we didn't exist.
And who's the lady? Is it the manager?
Yes.
And what is her ethnicity? What's her race?
She was white. Most of the workers in there were white. The way that she treated us by not even talking to us or acknowledging us and just walking into the office and locking herself in there. No parent went to open the door to say, hey, we're trying to talk to you. We stood back, said she didn't answer us, and that was it. From 10 to 10:30, if we were to see that camera, the interaction that we had was nothing, and she walked past us like we didn't exist as paying customers. That's what I felt. That's what I saw the woman that I went there and have kids with felt when the lady tried to call her and she ignored her fully. To my daughter, I had to say, excuse me. She had to like uplift her voice, and the lady still didn't even turn around. That was poor customer service. That's when I felt within myself, like, what did we do wrong? What did we say to you for you to ignore us like this? And why are you behaving like this?
You just wanted answers. You want to understand, why aren't my children fed? What's happening, right?
I basically, to leave there, my children never got what I let them leave the house for. What I paid for, they never paid for it. We paid for it. We're the parents. What we expect for them to have as an experience is a good time. From the time that we got there was nothing good that I heard took place that day. And then when on the way out the door, after about, let's say 10 after 11, I seen the first police officer walking in. And I looked and I'm like, why is the police being called? When I sat in my van and we were driving, I see 1 cruiser, 2 cruiser, 3 cruiser, 4 cruiser, 5 cruiser, 6 cruiser pulled up before I even left the parking lot. So,
and why were they called? Why were the police called?
We were not given any explanation. On my way out the door, I was myself stunned because there was nothing going on inside that beckoned for police to be called upon children, because as the adult, I was one of the only male figures there at the time standing. I didn't see no reason for any police to be called on the children. Matter of fact, there was school buses that came, and one of the school bus was already packed up with kids ready to go. Everything was moving in sequence to the best of its ability.
Do you think that they called the police because they just wanted everybody out of there, like the kids out of there? Is that why they called the police? Because we know what happens when it comes to us, okay? As long as they feel threatened or they feel like anybody's treating them in an aggressive manner, then it's Karen and Brad picking up the phone and calling the police and saying, we're afraid for our lives, please come. And then the police respond. You see a whole barricade of them showing up. And these are kids. Again, these are young, tweens and teens.
Yes.
But so my question is, the police show up now, and then what happens?
They allowed the people to stay inside. It was a cold night. They allowed whoever had a right to stay inside at the door. And I heard there was no problems. My only thing was, what was initially said for the police to come? That's what I don't know. And because I didn't know that, and because what I seen and what I felt is what made me do the video, right? What I seen and felt impacted me to the point where I had to let the public know this place doesn't deserve for us to go there, because of what I seen them do for customer service and to the customers personally within myself. I didn't like the way she spoke to my wife. I didn't like seeing the police being called to a vicinity for no purpose. If she wanted to clear the air and the area, she just had to wait. But she didn't communicate from the time I was there, she did not communicate with us as the parent of the child. Because they're all under 16. From what I've seen, most of the kids were under 16. So what was the reasoning to do that when the guardians of the children are there?
So I will tell you that when I saw your video and I said, oh, I need some more context. I want to get the information. The folks ran over to my account and they dropped a whole bunch of messages, and they were saying that, you're lying, and you and the children were all very rude to the staff, and that's why the police were called. I'm giving you the opportunity to answer. Tell us what really happened.
Oh, man. And there was a DJ that was supposed to play there. And when the DJ came, he was told that he had to bring his own equipment. He wasn't going to be given the chance to set up his stuff. This was a put together event. So when I heard, from the time I even heard that everything that was on the flyer, everything that was promoted, nothing of it was given. I felt cheated. I felt as a person going somewhere, sending their kids somewhere, and to see nothing really happening that shouldn't have given them the situation. They got cheated. And then to have them tell me that the kids were being rude, the police had to be called because there's a whole bunch of kids. Let's review the camera. I don't know what happened from 9 to 10:30, but from 10:30, the foyer camera, I would like for it to be set on me, to show my movements, to show how I talked, walked, came back and talked. And on my way out, the kids them were not misbehaving one bit. So let's ask Flying Squirrel, can we hear the call that was given to the police to see how we were described as individuals? What was our demeanor categorized when they spoke about us? Let's hear it from that standpoint. Because the first thing I noticed was Flying Squirrel put out a statement apologizing, taking full responsibility for the situation. Then they deleted that message and put up another statement stating of all the reasoning why glow in the dark couldn't happen, why the food supposedly people never got fed. You're a business. This is your establishment. You were talked to prior and before the event. If you could not accommodate certain things, you would have made that known for us to be prepared for it.
This company isn't new to this.
Thank you.
They've done many private events before. So you're right. We want Flying Squirrel to show the video footage, because even before you got there, there must be video footage. So if there's video footage of these children being rude and all this other stuff, where is it? And if that in fact did happen, why are we apologizing? Are we just trying to hope that this just gets washed in the trees? You know what happens, brother? When we as Black people, because we are very loud, okay? We're very loud. When we're ready to sound the alarm and our community rallies together, it rattles their cages. So what they're trying to do now is just make this go away. So they issue a statement, and it's always this canned statement of, we are appalled at what happened to you and we offer our sincerest apology. And sometimes they'll throw you a little credit for the next time, you know, we'll give you free dinner or whatever the case is. We're not accepting that, okay? Because Whitby in and of itself, there's a lot of anti-Black racism that goes on there. So couple that with an event that has far too many Black people as far as they're concerned, and trying to do what they can to just make it uncomfortable. You know what I mean? That's what and this is my humble opinion. I'm just saying, you know, the conduct to me lends itself to that. You know, like I said, ignoring you, not addressing you when you're there trying to find out what's going on. You're a manager of an establishment. Customer service is key, right? So that's the first order of business. Hello, sir, may I help you? Oh, you know, my kids haven't been fed. Can you help me understand what's going on? Oh, I'm sorry, let me go look into that. Not just walking by you. And I promise you, if it was the folks, that's not how they would have been treated. It's not. If it was a private event for the folks and they weren't getting fed, the police wouldn't be called. They wouldn't be accused of being rude. They wouldn't, you know, try to get them out of there. They wouldn't ignore Brad and Karen when they came to ask some questions. You know what I'm saying? So in my humble opinion, it's kind of, you know, it's self-explanatory. But I wanted to also find out what happens with the glow in the dark. What is that event that takes place?
It's so simple, and I know a lot of people in the community wanted to say that it was unsafe. It would be unsafe to turn off the lights with so many kids. Glow in the dark is not, you know, when your clothes just glow from the neon lights. When you watch their commercials of the neon lights on, you can see everything. It's not fully pitch black. The kids them dressed up to wear clothes that would actually glow, socks, shirts, pants. They came for that specific experience because that's the big thing that was promoted for the adult kids. So to be there with this preparation of mind for something and not receive it, you're not having fun. You feel, I don't know how the little kids them don't really understand, but the older kids are the one that are going to ask the questions and come to the parents. So a lot of people are saying, you know, it could have been unsafe. It could have been this. If they turn off the lights and injuries took place and they came and said, hey, there's a lot of people, injuries took place, we have to turn off the lights. The kids and the parents would understand the danger because the danger is happening in front of our faces. But we weren't even given the chance for a mistake to take place. It was just taken from us.
And if you think about it, when it comes to, this is what they pride themselves, right? This is one of their main features of the establishment. So I would imagine that once the event is booked and then you have a contract, there would be some conditions, right? Like there's a maximum amount of such amount of kids, and if we exceed that, then you know, we may not be able to accommodate the glow in the dark portion of the event. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. So you know, that's on them.
What was my purpose for doing this and all these things? My purpose was just to let people be aware, right? Be aware of where you're bringing your kids. Be aware of the environment that says that you're taking responsibility for when the parent is not there, because we weren't there. We weren't there for the kids, and we weren't there for the demeanor that they were way that they were taught. We weren't there for that. But as the parent who came after, to even feel that presence in half an hour, right? That was something I don't want other parents to go there and give their hard-earned money, hard-earned time, hard-earned experience that you can't take that experience that the kids them felt. You can't pay for that. You can't give them a jumping experience again. It's not about that anymore. It's about why were they treated like that? They came into your establishment for a moment and they're treated in a demeanor that was not acceptable.
And you have young kids that now have this memory of squad car upon squad car showing up. For what?
And the thing is, the communities that these kids are coming from, we already know it's communities that they've seen violence, they've seen police come around the area, they've seen these things. I heard some of those kids came to Flying Squirrel to get an emotion, to leave an emotional event from one of their friends dying by gun violence. They came to Flying Squirrel as a unit to exercise friendship. Malvern Community Center put out a post or a statement stating that they had 40 kids from their organization attend the event. This is another organization sponsoring kids to send them. Shows that this is a reputable place, Flying Squirrel. Act better, do better, because there's organizations picking you to give experiences to kids, and you didn't fulfill that. Why should they have you on the list?
What you did was perpetuate a situation that is constantly happening, right? Like you said, some of these kids came from not the best of environments, and they just came to more of the same thing. And it's just really unfortunate because, like you said, the Flying Squirrel is very known, very well known. You know, it's kind of like it's like the upgraded version of a Chuck E. Cheese or something like that, right? Where, you know, it's supposed to be a really beautiful experience for young, you know, teens and tweens and stuff like that. Instead, they were met by a bunch of police cars. So my question to you is, I know they set that fake news apology, whatever, but what else would you like Flying Squirrel to be held accountable for? Are you looking to file a lawsuit against them or human rights complaint? Like, what are your plans?
When I put out this video, it was based off of being a concerned parent. Am I taking legal actions? That was my stand to start off with. What I would like Flying Squirrel to see them do is to remove those workers and put a different atmosphere within your environment. People in their establishment needs to be removed, and they need to revamp and look at how they conduct their name. Rebrand your name by rebranding the characters that work in your facility. Because we're coming here to take something from you, and you're here to provide something for us. So
you would like to see the employees or anybody involved, including the manager, terminated because they're obviously in the wrong line of work. Okay,
that's what I would like to see happen, and I'm okay with that. That personally, I'm okay with that because it shows that the people that started the situation, you take full responsibility by removing them from the environment and say, I understand. That's it. Don't let no one else feel that. And the only way to do that is to remove the problem.
So you haven't heard anything more from them since their canned statement to you, right? Have they even made any attempt to try to settle in any way with you?
They haven't reached out to me personally. The only way they've reached out to me, they had one of their workers just keep on commenting on the one of their workers keep on commenting on the comments and letting people know that he was there and what happened from what didn't happen. But we were there also. But please turn on the camera. Let's get the call for the operator. Let's see how you guys handled the environment that with a lot of these kids inside.
Yeah, so Flying Squirrel, Whitby location. That's what we want. We want you to bring your receipts. Show the cameras that show that these children were so out of line that you had to call multiple police officers to get them out of the establishment after not even feeding most of them. And their user experience wasn't a good one. So if you are so righteous in why you felt the need, like your life was in danger or whatever the case may be, that you called the police, then show proof. Show proof. You have this employee that keeps going on and came on my account as well to say the same thing. We don't want words. We want to see it. Let us all see it.
Show the proof.
Show proof.
Let us all.
And then let's bring the manager and the other employees that were there. Bring it.
Bring them
so
in.
that we can address whether or not you should be working there.
And please, let's get that phone call to the police station. This is how we determine how far the feeling goes. Right?
Yeah, because if they called, they should have a recording of that 911 call. Please help me. These children are so unruly and dangerous. So we need like 50 squad cars. So let's hear it all. Bring all of the evidence. I personally think you should file a complaint with the Human Rights Commission so that they can step in and really do a thorough investigation of this event, because what kind of memory do your kids have now? It's traumatizing.
It's they're not going back to that place. They're not going back to that place.
It's traumatizing. This is, to me, racial profiling, the peak of racial profiling. And I really feel like we need to just, take it another step, because what I'm loving to see is more and more Black people are turning on their cameras and are exposing, but it's kind of just stops, and I feel like, in situations like this, we have to take it all the way. And I guarantee you, these establishments don't like it, but we got to do it. Because
we have to, because
we can't, they made you, your children of other parents feel very uncomfortable. And they're banking on it being an inconvenience for you to actually try to escalate this further. But it's not.
We don't want that.
Exactly. So, I'm going to be keeping my good eye on this. And, we're going to continue to stay in contact, because I want to know how this unfolds. And I know the viewers 100%. Would love to know as well. So, again, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with me. And
my pleasure.
We shall be in touch.
I mean, I said what I had to say in the interview. This brother said what he had to say as well. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a clear-cut case of racial profiling. They wouldn't have done this if it was the folks. This is not how they would have been treated. They wouldn't have been ignored. They wouldn't have not fed the kids. They wouldn't have called the police. And as we've asked, both of us in the interview, we asked that, produce the video that shows that they were unruly or they felt threatened in any way or unsafe to the point where they had to call the police on tweens and teens. So whether or not they do it is anyone's guess, but the power of our Black voices, we just have to keep doing that. We got to keep putting it forward. We have to keep exposing and not being afraid to go the course. As I said to Brother Royd in the video, is that oftentimes these establishments and people that are the folks are banking on it being an inconvenience for us. And we have to stop allowing them to feel that emboldened or that confident that we're just going to go away. No. So that's why I'm grateful for platforms like African Diaspora News Channel, where we're allowed to and we're able to expose things that you won't see on mainstream media. And to all the Black people out here in Canada, Ontario, please continue to come forward. Please continue to share your stories, whether it's you that's actually experiencing it or somebody please come forward. You can even head over to africandiasporanews.org and fill out the form there. And we would love to share your story. Let me know what you all think about this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this content. Also, don't forget to download the African Diaspora News app. You have to get that app, family. You are missing out on really, really good content that you will not see here or anywhere else. So download that app and also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Emma Ansah Unfiltered. Until next time, please be safe, everyone.